Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Hospitality 265, Hotel, Restaurant, and Travel Law. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 6. That's our chapter of reading and assignment for this week. We're going to talk about legally managing property. All right, so if you go to Chapter 6 in your book, is page 95. You'll see the title there, Legally Managing Property. In this chapter, we'll talk about the two types of property discussed here is real property and personal property. We'll talk a little bit about warranties and some of the help that the UCC gives us there. We'll briefly talk about buying versus leasing and some of the information provided there. And we'll talk about intellectual property rights, mainly talking about trademarks with a few examples, both that are popular right now because of what's happening um, with the Super Bowl, but then also personal experience that I've dealt with as a business owner. So, if you will, click on your Blackboard course there. You can see that I've posted the This Week in HOS-265 link, as well as our agenda for the week. All you have to do is click on the link here, or you can click on it in the agenda, either way. But there again, we talk about two types of property, buying versus leasing, intellectual property rights. Next week, we'll talk about legally selecting employees, and of course, you'll have a new video for that. I still left the additional instruction there about our discussion board posts, assignments, and attendance responses. Just make sure that you're putting in the effort and the time required to uh, receive credit for that. This course only has a few assignments per week, some that typically don't take you very long. But again, let me reiterate that one sentence or just an answer of yes and no is simply just not enough to receive credit. I'm looking for competence based on the application of knowledge that you would have gained from the information in the book. So again, friendly reminder that this is 10% of your grade. Both the attendance and the discussion board will make up 10% of your final grade. So again, please take the time to put in the effort to do that. Don't try and simply answer the question without having done any of the work in the book. I can tell, and I will email you back or message you back, however you have submitted your response, and let you know that it's not accepted, or it's accepted at a certain percentage. As always, if you have questions about that kind of thing, please let me know, as you should be checking your grades pretty much each day. I stay current with your grades so that you don't go more than a day or two without that information. And typically during the work week, you have it back, your grade, your assignment's graded within 24 hours. So I try to do the best job I can to make sure that you're up to date on where you stand in the class. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to let me know, either by phone, email, or text. All that information again is located in the course instructor tab here in Blackboard. So if we go to chapter 6, and again, I think it's important to realize that these are located in chapters and not by week. This week we are week 5, but we're in chapter 6 as we doubled up on chapters 4 and 5 last week. Day in the life of a hospitality manager. This is surrounding Trish Sangus here. Take a look at this and see what you think. It doesn't require a response, but again, these day in the lives are true experiences that have happened, and I promise you, in this type of situation, you might have to ask these same questions of yourself. The attendance grade for this week is analyzing the situation in 6.3. That is page, there's 3 of them in this chapter, 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3. 6.3 is on page 107. It revolves around a leasee in a buffet style restaurant in a shopping center. I'm sure, at first glance, this may not seem like much, but these types of things absolutely come up. So just remember that's there. You do have your flashcards, just as you do every week. You also have your Kahoot available for some of the questions that'll help you as you study for quiz number 6. All of that is there for you. And if we go back to our course tools and down to the discussion board, we can see that, excuse me, clicking over to student preview mode so you see exactly what I see. Sorry for the jumping back and forth there. I just want to make sure you see the same things I do. Week number 5, this is our discussion board post for this week. At the end of chapter number 6, there was a what would you do scenario about a hotel food and beverage director and his dilemmas around a big Super Bowl event. Again, I think this is very relevant to us right now with the Super Bowl so close. So again, that's there. This discussion board does not require you to respond to someone. As always, you're welcome to do so. If you do, please maintain professionalism as you either agree or disagree with someone. Please use that level of professionalism and courtesy that you would do there. So going back to the information for chapter 6, real versus personal property. Definitions are there. Those can be found in Quizlet as well. But there are some major differences in how those are seen legally. Just make sure that you have a basic understanding of that, because so many of you said, hey, I'm gonna, my goal in the next few years is to own my own business, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. If that requires property, both real and personal, then you need to have a basic understanding of what that means and what that means to you. If you flip over to page, sorry, I didn't have my page marked. It discusses the UCC and our protections under a few of these property rights. Okay, there it is, page 100. Under warranties, that's one thing I wanted to hit on. As you're reading that chapter, a lot of you might be thinking, oh, I'm receiving I'm buying these things, and there are these basic warranties that it comes with implied warranty, and that's that unwritten expectations that a product purchased is free of defects. And a lot of times the UCC tells us there's a 4-year window in there. The difference, of how the purchased product is free of defects varies. Just does not mean that there's that it's the wrong color or is missing a part or something like that. There are other things in there, and it talks about how there are certain verbiage that companies put in their warranties to not be held liable, but the UCC also has ways for us to have a negotiable part of that warranty as well. But there are 9 steps on the side of page 109 right there, and it talks about why you should include as much information as you can to ensure maximum protection of your products, services, whatever it might be. Again, and we should know these things. How long is the warranty? When does the warranty begin? Those kinds of things. Not going to read them word for word, but they are all there for you. Talk about buying versus leasing, and again, I think this is important for us who feel like we're going to own our own business one day. Is it as simple as just outright buying a piece of property or leasing it? When it comes to leasing, there's typically a little bit of a less upfront cost. It requires a whole lot less. Typically, doesn't require lawyers and things like that. You have a landlord rental type agreement there. That's kind of spelled out for you. If you want to get legal counsel involved, that's always a good idea, but you don't have to. When it comes to purchasing, obviously, if you're buying a piece of land or a building or something like that, then lawyers definitely have to get involved to do all their background checks on both the sellers and the property itself. So that information is there. Another one that I wanted to hit on was the intellectual property rights. Basically, that's any kind of patent, copyright, trademark, anything like that a company might have. We have to be careful how we use those things. For me personally, again, as a business owner of Brewery 85, when we set out to do a trademark and did our research, it is not required to have a trademark to legally use your name. However, it makes it a lot easier to to be able to go back and say, okay, someone else is using my name, image, and likeness or something like that without my express consent to do so. It makes it a lot easier to fight that if you are a trademark holder. So again, I remember just going back 9, 10 years ago now when we started Brewery 85. We had gotten a letter in the mail of a cease and desist because someone else was using 85 Degrees Brewing, and I believe it was in. I want to say it was in Oregon, maybe, and I haven't looked it up, and I maybe should have done that before I got on this, but nonetheless, it was called 85 Degrees Brewing, and they said that we were infringing on that. So lawyers did have to get involved, and it was proven that it was not. There was no issue there, because again, when we signed up for our business name and it typically runs it through a database, we knew that the business name itself was clear and was not too much like another um, business name, but still we did our due diligence, and us having our own trademark definitely went a long way to helping us to win that. Two other things with or one other thing with trademark and how we handle is the Super Bowl. Again, I know that that's popular right now. It's coming up this weekend, but with the Super Bowl, the NFL actually owns the trademark for the term Super Bowl, and they do that so that corporations can't make money off of the word Super Bowl or saying, "Hey, big Super Bowl party here." Right? They don't. The NFL doesn't typically care if you and I use the term Super Bowl. They don't care if ESPN or CBS or any of those other news channel sports networks use it because they're reporting on the Super Bowl. But for someone to go out and just say, "Hey, we're having a Super Bowl party. Come, this is what we're going to do." The NFL really cracks down on that. So a lot of times you'll hear the term "the big game" or some form of that. But typically, what we always hear is the big game, and that again, that's because the NFL owns that trademark for that. You also see it in our hospitality, tourism, and event industry. We see like a concert ticket or um, a gaming ticket or something like that for a sporting event. If you read the fine print on the back, it says not for corporate resale or something to that effect, based on who it's from. But just take for instance, if as the brewery, 85, we bought tickets to, I don't know who's coming to the Bilo Center up soon, but let's just say it's Journey or I don't know who's popular, Luke Bryan. I don't know if that's popular or not, but if they're coming to, uh, to the Bon Secours Wellness Arena and we buy tickets for $80, I can't turn around and say, "Hey, we're selling, Journey tickets for $150 or something like that." I can't make money off the trademarks listed there. So, again, those are just some ideas to think about when you are in business and starting your own business. Again, because this is not about knowing the law itself, it's just knowing what pertains to these individual aspects of property to help protect yourself from any type of lawsuit or anything like that. So again, that's what we've got for chapter 6. Next week, we'll be talking about legally selecting employees, getting into more of the HR side of things. But as always, thank you for your time. If you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Email, phone, or text. Y'all have a great day. Thank you very much.